we're building the community to make this happen for everyone, like for the inexperienced ones that are just starting. People, let's go with like the most basic first-time home buyers, to people that are just like starting to have their first investment, people growing their portfolio, people that they want to invest in a $2 million, $3 million, $5 million project, and they're just missing 200,000, for example. They need a partner for that. Silent partner is someone with $200,000 that they don't have time, but they want to invest in real estate. The other day I was speaking with a doctor, and it was exactly that. Doctors, they have the capital, they don't have the time, or perhaps they don't even have the knowledge to how to do it, because they dedicate their life to obviously their profession. So I was speaking with them, with one doctor. I was telling him, this is ideal for me. I will very gladly put $200,000, $300,000 in a project and see how it grows. Yeah. So it's like building this community so you can include as many people as possible with different use cases, different projects, different abilities. So that's great. That's the beauty of it, and you do it from your couch. You can do it in great numbers, so it increases your possibilities to have a project.
Hello, and welcome back to the Very Real Estate Effect podcast, a show dedicated to real estate investing right here in Quebec. And today it is an honor and a pleasure to be at a beautiful studio with a great guest. I'd like to introduce Jonathan Faerman, the visionary and the founder behind the website Investium. Essentially, it's a dating app for real estate investors, and we'll go right into it. Hi, Jonathan. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for you to be here. We met a little while ago, and you've developed a really amazing website actually for real estate investors, like myself. And I want to dive a little bit more into the story, a little bit into the platform. But before we do that, two things. I just want to remind everyone, thank you for sharing this podcast episode with a friend who could benefit from this conversation. It always helps us reach more people and spread the good word about real estate investing and all the benefits it has. And Jonathan, before we go into everything that you've created, I just want to give our audience a little bit of an opportunity to know, like, well, who's Jonathan? Who are you? Like, how'd you get here?
Well, thank you for that. So I'm actually from Argentina. I moved here to Quebec 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I've been living here ever since in Montreal. I love the city. And now I'm married. I have 2 kids, which I enjoy very much, that life.
Yeah, the young kids. Now you and I are both in the same boat right now.
Yeah, 2 and 4. Yeah. It's a nice age.
Yeah, it's very demanding. Yeah.
So I moved here 10 years ago, and obviously I came here to work, to build a better life for myself. I was very lucky. I was able to meet a woman. So, and actually I met her on a dating app.
Oh, there you go.
Which was very, very interesting. And I actually faced myself the challenges to buy a home, to get into the real estate market. So that's how a bit the idea to build Investium grew on me a couple of years ago. I was also very lucky. I was able to buy a condo downtown Montreal. I lived here for 5-6 years, wonderful life. And then kids came along, so it was time to move out of the city. Again, I bought a house and I was renting my condo. And at some point I said, okay, it's now time to sell the condo and expand. So, okay, I did that. I sold my condo, having experience renting out my condo. So having that experience being a real estate investor. And I was ready to go for the next step, buying, I don't know, a duplex, a triplex, something bigger.
Okay.
But then even with that bit of money in the bank and having a bit of experience, I realized this is very challenging, right? Investing in real estate, it's not passive investment. It's not like just you put the money and magic happens. None of that. It requires a lot of work, a lot of effort. You need money, you need time, you need skills, knowledge. And I realized I had practically none of those things. And I said, okay, I'll do it with someone. Doing it with family and friends, it's always problematic. It could end up in a very bad position. So, okay, I don't want to do that. So, okay, who do I know? And I realized, well, I don't know anyone.
Okay.
who I can invest in real estate with.
Okay, so just to clarify, you were looking for someone to partner up to invest in real estate and buy a property to live in or rental or something like that.
Exactly that.
Okay.
Exactly that. And then I realized I don't know anyone. And having met my wife online, I say, well, there might be something here. I looked around and I couldn't find anything. And I started thinking about it. Okay, how can I make it happen? And that's when the idea of Investium came by. So I started working towards that. There was a lot of time to plan to see, okay, how I'm actually going to make that happen. I don't code myself, so that was not a possibility. So I knocked a ton of doors, and I was also again lucky to find a couple of people that they were willing to put money and back me up on this. So I have a couple of investors that were very supportive, and that's how things they start to get a bit more real. I to be very independent and to maintain a very lean structure, which was very important to me, so I could have this vision. I've hired an agency here in Montreal, Quebec. That was a lot of, I think, a source of pride for myself to be able to work with a local agency. They're very good. They know the market. I don't need to explain them what is real estate, what is Canada.
Yeah. And they already have all the lingo. They know the locally. Yeah.
Exactly. It was very easy.
And it was an agency to do what exactly?
To develop the web app.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
I needed to develop everything from scratch.
To build the website, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The website and everything, that the platform that is powered behind it. So I worked with them for more than a year and a half to develop everything from scratch. Because there was nothing like this. So I had to come up with the entire idea, with entire concept, how to do it. So it took around a year and a half to develop all this. And then I was able to go to market. I would, let's say, a test run that lasted 3-4 months. I had a lot of feedback, very good feedback from people saying, yeah, this is something I could really use. And another development round. And then in March, April, May this year, we decided to open the doors and starting to go live.
Okay.
It was time to let's bring this outside and let's make this real.
Okay. There's so much to unpack already in what you shared, and thank you for letting us know all this, because it gives a little bit more background about exactly what it is that you've created. Because for me, as a real estate investor, it's sometimes very time consuming to look for partners, look for people, and you might have a great deal, a good lead, a good property, but you're short of capital, you're short of resources, and so finding a way to make the process of finding partners easier can be a huge time saver for a lot of people. And so I think it's interesting that you came up with that idea and actually did it in your execution, because you faced that problem. It wasn't somebody else that told you, I have this problem, maybe you can fix it. Like, you experienced it yourself, so you know exactly what it's like. Yeah. And it's always like, oh, well, go meet people, go pitch your deal, go find some investors, go find some partners and stuff like that. But it's hard. It takes time.
It takes I think it's a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
It is a numbers game. If you meet 2-3 people, well, you may not agree on the where, the how much, the type of property, the location, and so it's a numbers game. You need to meet a lot of people. You need to pre-screen, and that's kind of what we are doing. So if I go a bit into it, so the site is completely free. That's one of the key advantages, because it's a numbers game. I don't want to add yet another barrier to enter the real estate market. It has already like a very high barrier, so that's what I want to do. I want to lower those barriers to let everyone be able to invest or buy a property. So site is completely free. So you register very, very easily. You set up what would be your investment preferences or your purchasing preferences, the type of property, the location, how much money you are looking to invest, or how much money you're looking to buy a property for. And that's pretty much it. It takes no time to do it, and right away you will be able to receive suggestions in which users are aligned with your visions or with your goals. What projects may already exist that are also aligned with your goals, and right away you can start contacting people and getting more in touch with these projects that are your goals, right? So that's the beauty of it.
So it basically helps to speed up and narrow down the process of what it is that you're looking for, when, roughly how much, as you said, like going both ways, to invest or to secure as capital. And I go back to the analogy you said about like, oh, I met my wife online. I did a little bit of online dating as well back in my day. And I just remember talking about it with a friend in terms of, yeah, but you don't want to spend too much time online. It's just to be able to meet. And then as quickly as possible, you want to invite to go for coffee or go for a drink or go for a walk in a park or go somewhere and do something, because that's when it actually moves forward. It's not about chatting online about, how great our profiles are. And so, applying this to the real estate can actually help a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why in the platform, what I built, it's a possibility to go to this second stage very, very quickly. So you find the other users, other people, let's call it people, that they share your goals, your life goals, your vision. So you can chat very securely with these people. You don't need to disclose any personal information, which nowadays is very important.
Yeah.
And right away, you can move that from a one-on-one conversation. You can bring it to a group. Let's call it a private investment group, where you can invite more people if you want. So you are 3, 4, 5. So that obviously increases your chances to complete like even a bigger project. And you are 3, 4, 5, repeating in a group, secure space where you can discuss confidentially elements. You have a lot of collaborative tools as well. So you can move from that, okay, let's meet each other. Hi, how are you? I want to invest in this, to actually move that to a group where we can actually start working towards our goals. So you can do that very, very quickly.
Wow. I'm actually, because as you said, I'm imagining it, and that can actually help a lot of people that some of them want to, but they're shy to go to events and they don't know where to reach out. And so, I'm thinking of like crowdfunding websites, which obviously is still different than that. Yet the important part of all this is just connecting people.
Absolutely.
And this is not an ad for Nokia. It was their slogan 25 years ago, and now they've become an irrelevant company in a market they used to dominate. But how important it is just to be able to connect those people. So when you started the website and the development, did you just rely on your experience in the difficulty of finding investors, or did you ask other people around you?
No, that's a great question. I started to speak more with people, and everyone that I would speak with, they would bring different use cases that they have, the experiences that they had where they could use a platform like this. And now, as I read the newspaper, that's even more even expanding. I think the typical situations is, okay, I have a bit of money in the bank, which was mine experience. I have a bit of money in the bank. I want to invest in real estate, but I don't have the time. I don't have all the capital that I need. So I'm going to meet 3, 4 other people. We all pitch 150K or whatever, and we invest in a bigger property. I think that's a very common use case. But then there are others. There's people that they're already investing in real estate. They're investing in bigger properties, larger projects, and they just need a bit of money to secure the projects because they're already run out of capital where they can tap on, right? They are maxed out on all the credit lines. So they would be more than willing to give out like 10% or something. So that's another use case.
Okay.
Another one that it's popping up right now, it's becoming, I think, more popular, is people, they want to move out. They want to stop being renters and they want to become homeowners.
Yeah.
That is becoming, it's expensive to rent and it's become more expensive to own. So how do you do it? So partnering, I think, again, comes to the solution to solve this issue, as you're able to, let's say if you are ready to buy a condo, instead of buying a condo, then you buy with someone else a duplex. And right away, or a triplex with 2 other people. And right away, it's becoming cheaper, right? The more doors you buy at a time, it's becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So you can save $150K, $100K, which comes to be $500, $1,000 a month. It's considerable. So as I have been speaking with people, more use cases have been popping up in which a platform like this can really help others.
Yeah. And I like the way you talk about it, because that was not actually a perspective I was going to take, of people who are looking to buy a single family home or a duplex, and then they can partner up and put 2 families in there. And you're absolutely right that there is demand for this. And in any case, it always go back to what process can be put in place to connect people that have the same interests and the same goal, but that don't necessarily cross paths every day. They don't have their kids in the same school and meet through daycare. They're not at work. They're not at the gym. And yet they have this similar intent, and creating a platform for people to be able to do that, as long as they properly disclose what it is that they're looking for. Because someone who's looking to invest $250,000 in a multifamily project is not the same profile as someone who's got 100K to buy a single family home and be neighbors.
Absolutely.
And as long as that's clear, then people can go with that, and that's and that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why it's so important. Like in the app, the first thing you do is you disclose those preferences, so you don't waste your time, and you're able to find the right people that are going to be able to enable you to complete your projects, right? To be closer to your goals.
Yeah, and because real estate, I'm thinking of real estate investment versus, for example, the stock market and all the different barriers to entry. A lot of people that I hear around me say, "Oh, but real estate, it's so difficult, and I don't know where to start, and you need to know so much stuff, and you need to know the local market and this and that." Yes, to some of it isn't true, but yet some of these people would almost feel comfortable going online on their TD or Royal trading account and do a $3,000 transaction without even really researching the company. And so in real estate, the barrier to entry might be higher and harder, but yet if there is a solution where people can more easily meet people that have the same goal, it actually really helps the market in general, not only themselves.
Yeah, and the good thing about real estate is very objective, right? You and me, we want to buy a duplex. We list all the duplex that we can find on any like MLS or something like that, and we go and pick a duplex, right? It's very objective as an investment. So I think it's also become easier for people to really to come to an agreement on that sense.
Whether it ticks all the boxes of the type of property they're looking for?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I think that's easier, and it's objective. It's there. It's tangible. So I think that's the beauty of real estate investment. So I'm also an enthusiast on real estate. So that's why I like it very much. So that's why we're making easier for people to reach that, and we're adding constantly more services, adding more value to enable this through partnerships. We're working very hard to bring more value and to make it easier for people to access this market that at some point was a bit exclusive, if I can say something like that. I think it was exclusive, that not everyone had access to it because of the barriers of entry.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to do, is to lower those barriers.
Yeah. And the more you lower those barriers to entry, the more people can come in. Exactly. And regardless of their size, their aspiration, and their objective. So that's really key. Now, just another area I wanted to touch on, like you said, this was locally developed here in Montreal.
Correct.
Now, with what you're seeing on the platform right now, are most of the properties and the investors based in Quebec, or are you starting to get some traction in other places in the country?
That's a great question. So we initially started here in Montreal, Quebec, just to start somewhere. But I'm seeing interest popping up from different places, other places in Canada mostly, but even other places in the world. I don't know how they even find out about the platform, but I'm seeing when they sign up, and I'm seeing people from different countries, from all over Canada signing up, showing interest. I'm starting to see some connections inside the app, people chatting with each other, creating groups, trying to make these connections to make this happen. So it's very rewarding for me also to see that. To see this, it's taking life. It's actually happening.
Yeah, and you can actually see it, as you said, under your own eyes. And so I have to be fully transparent, like with you and with everyone listening. About a week ago, I did go online and created a profile, and I started to post one deal, and my intent is to put more of them because I'm working on several transactions right now. Some deals that are in development and for which we will need to bring in some partners. And so I want to give other people the opportunity to come on board and join on the adventure. There's another one here, a small multifamily in Laval that we're open. We would sell all of it. We would sell some of it. And so I'm interested in seeing what's out there and the amount of interest we can get from people, because in all of this, there's also a certain level of education. and education and confidence in real estate. Because maybe you and I, we've done a few transactions. We would be comfortable, like, you know, I was going to say, see a listing like that online, contact the person, do a Zoom call, really run through the numbers, and then make a decision whether we want to participate or not. I hate to say, there's also a lot of window shoppers. There's people who have analysis paralysis, and sometimes the less experience they have, the less likely they are to move forward and do transactions. So at least if the platform feels secure to them, and I know it does because I had to even verify my identity to do the profile, which I thought was a good thing. And it's actually pretty easy to do, but I was even surprised by the step. It does create an environment where people are more likely to open up and make serious financial decisions.
That's great to hear your feedback, how you felt doing it. For me, it was very important to make this a secured space. We added many steps to feel secure, like when you create a profile, the two-step verification with the phone, the identity verification with the government ID, so you really know who you're talking to. You can report users that you feel are a bit shady. So there are multiple layers that are come from like best industry practices to make this a very safe place. So that's I'm glad to hear that was also your impression. So we worked hard on that. That's very, very important for us.
Well, I mean, that was my experience so far. Like, you know, it's been just a couple of days, and we'll see where it goes. And I want to go back to what I feel is one of the key essentials in all of this, is that we all know people who want to invest in real estate. And I'm sure there are some that are listening to this very podcast right now who say, yeah, I want to. And they've probably been saying that for 4 or 5 years, and yet they've never made the plunge. And I want to ask them, even though they can't really respond, and I'd love to get your feedback on it, is that then why is it when you know that there is people on the other side who would be willing to give you a part, you know, equity in the property, and you basically don't really need to do anything, then why wouldn't you participate? You know, is this what do you hear from your side?
I think it's exactly what you said, analysis paralysis. I think it comes to that. It's very easy to buy or sell stock online. Obviously, buying a property is not the same. It requires some other elements. But I think it all starts with a conversation. So you see it, I think, until the moment, it was my experience, until the moment you start a conversation, everything's very, very far away, very like impossible. But the minute you make the contact, the minute you say hi to someone, and the person replies back, and you say, okay, like, what are you thinking? I think it's just like to break the ice. The issue is breaking the ice.
Yeah.
So as soon as you break the ice, say, hey, how are you? I'm Jonathan. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Like, what are you looking for? Well, I was actually looking in and in creating this, investing in this property duplex in Laval. Oh, well, like, I'm also interested. Okay, how much is it? Well, I have this. How much do you have? I have that. Okay, let's look at third one. We find the third. Okay, now we are 3 people. Now we can get it done. Let's go together. Let's look at the property. And then one thing leads to another. Okay, do we have a real estate agent? Okay, let's get ready take care of that. Do we need a mortgage specialist? Let's take care of that. And it's just breaking down the big problem into like smaller steps.
Yeah.
And I think the first one is actually getting the people together and saying the hi, right? As soon as you say hi and you break the ice, then everything becomes just very little steps. It's just like before doing that, it looks from outside like an impossible challenge.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what happens.
As you said that, it made me think of like when I was smaller, I love boats, and I used to look at sailing magazines, and in the last 3 pages, it was boats for sale. And I remember for 2 years, I would look at this and I was like, oh, maybe one day I could call them. And I'm sure that boat has, you know, sold a long time ago. But where I want to make the connection is, as you said, is breaking the ice to actually take the first step to start to take action.
Yeah.
Because in real estate investing, and for those who are listening right now, I always say, research your market, make some offers. You've got to take action.
Yeah.
And so at least joining a community like the one you're in the process of creating with Investium, and then defining what it is that you're looking for. What kind of property do you actually want to buy, and where, and what kind of capital do you have? and then meeting other like-minded individuals. I was going to say, it seems like a very small step, but just those 3 items help you narrow down so much in your search.
Yeah.
So that, I love how you said at the beginning, well, we said it's like a dating app for real estate investors, because that's what it is. There's so many possibilities out there.
Yeah. And I think there is an educational aspect in which if you're by yourself, it's very difficult to perhaps educate yourself of how to do it because of the different steps you need to take. But suddenly when you're in a place like this, in a community like this, you start meeting people, and suddenly you come across people like you, which are very experienced, and you can make it very simple. It's like, I will walk you through the process,
Yeah.
right? And it's safe. I will walk you through the process, and then you learn. So not only you created a profile for free, you met the people that you need, you make the partners, but also you are learning for free from people that are already experienced. And I think that's also a possibility that we're bringing to connect people that they have the money. So you have like the triangle, you have the money, the time, the experience, right? And you have people that have everything. So people, they may have all of it. Some people may have some of it. And here we can connect to make that complete. So if you are missing one of those legs, well, you can complete it with someone else, and you learn on the process.
Yeah.
And hopefully the goal, the vision is you complete your first purchase here, and in 3 years we're going to see you again.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's one of the only.
Or you just continue over and over.
Exactly. You're going to come back, or you're going to continue. Like in a dating app, I don't want to see you because that means like it didn't work out.
The relationship didn't work.
Exactly. But here I want to see you again because it means you had a great experience and you're ready for more. So, which would be great.
And it's funny you say that, like, oh, if the first one worked, like I still want you to come back. It took me a little bit of time to realize this was from Bigger Pockets, Brendan Turner, who said, like, the first transaction, it doesn't make you rich, it doesn't make you broke, it just gets you addicted. Yeah. And I think it's true. And I'm just thinking of the platform where someone was to sign up and then do a transaction. It's not because you did a transaction that you should delete your account. Far from it. Just keep going. Yeah. Keep going. And it's funny that you bring up the triangle with some of the 3 elements that are needed, because I'm thinking different people have different things, different level of comfort and knowledge. In my case, we kind of joke with my wife that for the real estate projects we want to do, we're always $2 million short. Now, we used to say 300,000. Now it's 2 million. And maybe, a couple of years from now, it'll be 20 million. It's just that there's a lot of opportunities right now. The economic environment has made things harder. And in harder times, opportunities arise. And right now, there's a lot of them. So the question for an investor, an active investor, is, okay, well, if I see opportunities and I need capital, or I need to meet people, where can I do so? And online, I find it's much easier to just build a property profile once and then invite people to go see it than having to share it individually with each person.
Yeah, it's not efficient at all.
No.
Yeah. The moment I got hooked up into real estate is, I think, the first time I received the check for the rent.
Yeah.
And I cashed that check and I say, okay, now it's real.
Now it's real.
Now I'm a real estate
investor. For the first time, it paid me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm an investor. Then I was hooked up because, okay, now it made it real. Yeah. So now I want to continue. I want to grow. I want to make it bigger. I want to continue doing this. Mm-hmm. So that was a great moment for me, at least.
We talked a little bit about it offline, but the importance of building a community, because as real estate investors, it is a people business all the time. That's all we do. Yes, we invest in brick and roof and a front yard and a backyard and underground garage. But at the end of the day, we deal with people all the time. They're our clients, our suppliers, our partners, and so on. And so developing the ability to meet more people and finding more people greatly enhances the pipeline. Greatly enhances the ability to get capital for projects. And so anything that can be done. I've been huge on going to events because, well, I used to like to drink. I've never had a drinking problem. That's not what I'm saying, but I find it's a nice casual environment. And, well, realistically, with 2 kids, as we said earlier, I have a lot less time to go out to events. And I'm glad to do this at home in my couch at 8 o'clock at night. And I don't want to say to browse projects, but kind of. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. So we enabled that. And we are building the community to make this happen for everyone, to make it like for the inexperienced ones that are just starting. People, let's go with like the most basic first time home buyers, to people that are just like starting to have their first investment, people growing their portfolio, people that they want to invest in a 2 million, 3 million, $5 million project, and they're just missing 200,000, for example. They need a partner for that. Silent partner, that's someone with $200,000 that they don't have time, but they want to invest in real estate. The other day I was speaking with a doctor, and it was exactly that. Doctors, they have the capital, they don't have the time, or perhaps they don't even have the knowledge to how to do it, because they dedicate their life to obviously their profession. So I was speaking with them, with one doctor, and I was telling him, this is ideal for me. I will very gladly put $200,000, $300,000 in a project and see how it grows.
Yeah.
So it's like building this community so you can include as many people as possible with different use cases, different projects, different abilities. So that's great. That's the beauty of it, and you do it from your couch. You can do it in great numbers, so it increases your possibilities to have a project.
Yeah, and as you said, like there's different types of profile, and there's enough for everyone. And what I mean by that is, as you said, there's the doctor who's super busy, who makes great money, but just doesn't have the time to go and choose paint and manage a contractor and all that. And all he wants is to find someone who's got the exact opposite, who's got the time and the skills, but doesn't have the capital. And so if you're able to position, well, Investium, which is what you're doing, and connect people, this is huge.
Yeah, and it's free. So
and it's free. Why would you not?
Yeah, so we wanted to give people the possibility to at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just to give it a try.
Okay. So I really like what you've developed. There's people that are listening right now. In what ways can we help you? Because this is a question that I love to ask, regardless of the profile of the person. I'm not just asking because it's you. I'm asking because whoever it is, we want to help the audience, and the audience is getting value by listening to this and getting good information. And then we also want to help you. So in what ways can we help Investium?
I think the best thing you can do is create a profile. Go into the website, create a profile. If you have a project that you want to create, just create the project and start sharing it with everyone. That will help not only me, but everyone. This is, like you said, this is a people business, and this adds more value to everyone when more people use it.
Yeah.
So if you want to help me and help you and help yourself and help everyone, it's just go online, create a profile. It's Investium.ai. You create a profile for free, and you share it, and you start with your project there. At least, even if you're not so sure what to do, you just very easily create.
Yeah, just go look at the projects that are out there.
Exactly. Or if you don't see anything that you like, you just create your own. Saying, okay, I want to invest in a sixplex in I don't know where. Well, it's just like you just create it. It's free, and you do it, and you browse for some people, and you can invite them to your project.
Yeah.
Or you can browse existing projects, and you can join other people's groups. Both ways it work. But I think that would be the very best thing you can do to help themselves, to help Investium, to help you, to help everyone.
Okay. So we're inviting people to come and join the community.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we can do?
But it's sharing it.
Okay.
I think it's just spreading the voice.
Yeah. Share it. And it makes me think of Facebook when it started, of like, we have, it needs to reach a point of critical mass. Yeah. But the thing is that critical mass works, and there's retainment if people are real. Mm-hmm. And if you have a preference, and if you're just looking at properties, then just say you're looking at properties. If you have $200K to invest, then just say you have $200K to invest, because otherwise you're going to get people that are going to bother you for nothing. So why do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like a dating app, right? A dating app, if you lie in the dating app, it's not going to work. Yeah. So this is the same.
And I hate to make the parallel, but I remember going on dates from a dating app where she would walk in, and I was like, oh, that's not at all what your pictures look like. Okay. And then right away, there's a bit of sense of, I was going to say disappointment. Maybe I shouldn't have shared it, but that was my experience. So I'll just put it out there. And you don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. And let's not make a dog look like a turtle.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are the big plans for Investium for the future? I mean, you've started. It's in a growth period right now.
Yeah.
Where do you want to take this? Like, if 2 years from now, when you come back on the podcast in 2 years, rather, what do you hope to share with us?
That we've made great partnerships. That's something I'm working right now. Partnerships to add more value, to guide people in this journey, especially those that they are the first time investors or the first time home buyers. We want to help them, to guide them.
Yeah.
So that's what we're actively working on, to provide additional value, this guidance, this extra help. Some people may need more hand holding, if I may say that. So we want to give this personalized experience, and to give everyone whatever they need to help them in this journey. If it's at the beginning of the journey or closer to the end of the journey, whatever you are on your journey, we want to help you and guide you for you to be able to get where we want to go.
Yeah, to go along with the process wherever you are in the, I was going to say, in the spiral of development.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's say 2 years from now, let's you come back on and we'll see where it's at.
Perfect.
If anyone wants to find out more about you and the company, what's the best way to get in touch?
Well, you can feel free to send me an email. It's Jonathan@investium.ai. The website is www.investium.ai. Feel free to go there. Send me an email if you want. I will reply it. I speak with new users very, very frequently. I like to see what the experience, to see how they heard about it. So I do that all the time. So feel free. I love to speak with people, especially if they are coming to the site. I love to hear feedback, to hear their experiences. Please do contact me. It will be my pleasure.
Perfect. Let's do that. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today. Thank you everyone for listening, as you always do. Your support is deeply appreciated. And instead of closing like the regular way of make some offers, research your market, thank you very much, we'll say, go create a profile on Investium, go put your information out there, share it with a friend, and then go make some offers on some of those properties. Thank you very much. And I'll talk to you next week. Ciao.